Hi, I'm Steve Packard, and today I'm not going to be talking about cybersecurity risk, but about airspace intrusion risk, because in case you haven't been living under a rock the past few days, you'd know that there's a lot of people talking about what's going on in New Jersey with supposed drone swarms, enormous drones, drones that defy physics. Showed up in New Jersey, allegedly over some military installations and other sensitive areas. And then we started to get reports of school bus sized drones and massive drone swarms coming off of the ocean, but nothing here seems to make sense because they've been patrolling off the coast and haven't found anything. There's no mothership or anything, despite claims that there are. Reports are highly inconsistent, and now it's spread to Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, of course, Connecticut, my own state, even Massachusetts. It's all over the Northeast. So initially, I thought that this could be a case of just mass hysteria contributing to this, and some of these reports might be mass hysteria, but now that I've looked into it a little bit more, and I spent a couple hours last night looking for the best videos available, I think it might all be mass hysteria. Now, that's not to say that there isn't the possibility that there were some isolated incidents where drones were on areas that they shouldn't be, like military installations or critical infrastructure areas where they're restricted. And generally, drone flight is restricted over places like New York City. So there may have been some violations, but it doesn't seem to be any sort of systemic swarm kind of thing. But let's take a look at the footage. And I got this, I spent some time trying to find the best footage that I could find. And this comes from a number of news sources. I don't think there'll be any copyright issues because I will include the sources. And in addition to that, these videos are making the rounds. You see these same videos on YouTube and social media and everything. People have been posting them as their proof of these drones. So let's see what we have here.
This one is extremely low. It's loud.
That's an airplane.
It's really cute.
And it's huge.
It's so big.
You can tell by the navigation. I mean, you can tell
Yeah, my
that is
camera
an airplane.
doesn't do. It looks like a spaceship,
It's like a twin
right?
jet. It's like a 737.
Like that doesn't
or
look like a drone, right?
A320. Not a real big one.
That looks like a spaceship.
But actually, you can see it's one of the newer ones because you can even see the winglets on it.
It's like a small plane. It really is like a small plane.
You see that? That's a jet airplane. And the person narrating this said that it's like a space. Okay, so here we see some lights, orbs in the sky, and there are quite a few videos like this.
6,
What are these?
7.
I have no idea.
7 right here.
There's no way of knowing. Again, this appears to be, these all appear to be fixed-wing aircraft. I mean, it's possible that they're quadcopters or something, but every one of these, if you zoom in, in here, again, 2 lights, we don't know what it means. And I want to point out there's also some lens flare. That's an airplane. And that's an airplane. See, you can tell because it probably looks better on my monitor. You can kind of see the structure. But yeah, look, those are the Delta wings. That's an airplane. You can see the swept wings and everything. And that's an airplane. And again, I'm not cherry picking these. These are all the videos I could find. That's an airplane. That's an aircraft. That could be, see this one again. This could be a quadcopter, but the simplest explanation is aircraft. And that's an aircraft. And that's an. Here are 12 videos from MSNBC. And 8 of these, I can definitively tell you, are just conventional aircraft, probably passenger aircraft or maybe general aviation. And other 4 are just too blurry or non-distinct to know. But so far, airplanes is what I'm seeing. Like I haven't seen anything that isn't an airplane, except, like I said, I did see a couple that were quadcopters. But the other thing is there are some drones up there just because some people are investigating for themselves. The state police of New Jersey announced that a drone did crash in somebody's yard. Oh, here we go. They're actually interviewing somebody, and they're showing this, like, with a straight face. Yeah, they're talking about, this is the drone. That's an airplane. Look, you can see it so well. You can even see the tail is red. It's like Emirates or Qantas or somebody with a red tail. Yeah, and this is blurry, so you can't see it. But as you zoom in, and if you look at some of the frames are better than others for noise, you can totally see that there's wings coming out of each side and the fuselage. These are every single one of these. And here, you may have seen something like this. These are the landing lights of an aircraft when it's coming into like a foggy, Yeah, see, it's low-hanging clouds, and you can kind of, but that's an airplane, and that is an airplane. That's an airplane. That's all it is. It's just an airplane.
To
Also
see
an
these
airplane.
lights, several in the sky
So
near
this
the
is over
Verrazano
Brooklyn.
Bridge.
This is,
She believes
these
they
are
are
reported to be
all
over the Verrazano
drones.
Narrows.
They started
I
to
can't
change
tell
from like
because
white
they do
lights.
look
They started to get like more
just
like
lights.
reddish
They're
green
not distinct
blinking
enough.
lights. There had to be
But that's a very
in total
common
10,
flight
maybe
path
12 of these
for,
things,
I mean,
and
you
some
can
of them
see
came
the,
closer. They went over my
yeah,
building. You could hear
those are
the
airplanes
whir of
coming into
the
JFK.
motor.
I've flown that same route many times myself over Staten Island, the Verrazano, and landing there. Yeah, size of a school bus, or so they say. But there's no actual reckoning for how they're able to tell how far away it is or anything. And again, that looks like an airplane. I mean, some of these you could say, well, maybe there's the possibility that it is a quadcopter or something else or a helicopter. In fact, there are one or two that are. Oh, here's a good example of a mistake because in this video, the person is comparing what they say are genuine airplanes which produce contrails to drones. Now, I don't know if that's a drone. That could be the planet Venus for all I know.
It's sitting right there.
The thing is, aircraft in the same sky can produce very different contrails based on what altitude they're flying at.
Got another one over
And that's
here.
the thing is, aircraft can appear very close together when you're actually seeing them in
Just hovering around,
three-dimensional
just
space at
hanging
different
out.
altitude. You might be looking
Airlines
up at
don't
like
just hang out. Those
45-degree
aren't helicopters.
angle to one aircraft.
You
Another
got several
aircraft
over
is
here
behind
now
it
that are
further back.
flying around.
They might appear very close
Two that are
together,
flying, one's
but
hovering.
again, it's very hard to judge distance of anything in the sky. That's an airplane. I haven't seen any videos, except for the ones that are so non-distinct and so out of focus that you just can't make heads or tails of them. I have not seen a single video that does not appear to show a standard commercial aircraft or possibly a general aviation aircraft. There have been reports of drones that are pretty reliable. That may be the case with people who have just put up their own amateur drones to try to scope out what's going on or just to be a little bit rebellious. There are also some law enforcement drones that have been sent up to investigate things. But right now, we don't have any clear primary evidence of any drones, save for, as I said, the amateur and commercial drones you'd expect. There's been no apparent tracing of these on radar. There's been no interception of any communications. And these are the clearest images we seem to have. I hate to say it, but it appears that this is a complete case of mass delusion and mass hysteria, where people who don't normally look up at the sky and don't pay a lot of attention to airplanes suddenly are, and are suddenly taken aback by the fact that airplanes fly and have lights on them, and sometimes they're hard to tell the distance to. We have had drone swarms and drone overflight of military installation, and that's concerning. It's been documented that it's happened. And something like that may have been the trigger that started this, but at this point, it appears that the overwhelming majority of reports are mistaken aircraft or possibly other things such as civilian drones, the planet Venus, lens flare, reflections on the window. It appears that most of the reports are in fact things like that. Whether or not there are any nefarious drones outside of the commercial aircraft and the other things like civilian drones, planet Venus, I am starting to think that there probably are not any. And I certainly am not convinced that there are any over New York or Connecticut or any place other than these very limited areas where it likely was simply a local misunderstanding or something. Somebody flying their drone where they weren't supposed to. But clearly what we have here is not actual drones. This is mass hysteria. I mean, you look at it, and if you can find me a video that shows something else, then more power to you. I'll have the links in the description to where I got these. But that's what we have to work with now. Clear, unambiguous 737, 777s, A320s, maybe a Cessna, a Piper Cherokee thrown in there. That's what we're seeing, folks. You can all calm down now.